I'm gonna install an air horn. This is a little valve I got. It had these little push lock fittings. This has got to go in this way up, so the pull chain turns the horn on. I'm just looking around here at some of the brass that I have. This is nowhere near the right size. I don't think I have a 90. Basically, this is going to go towards the roof, so I got to get as small a 90 as I can in here. I've got a piece of angle iron here that I'm going to use for the bracket, so I don't have much room at all. I'll show you the floor there. So between the roof, this is going to be the edge of the roof, and here I don't have hardly any room, so I got to get a small 90 to run this probably out this way or some way other than over that pull chain to get a hose on it. So I need a small 90 with a hose fitting. I really don't have anything here in my little kit. I'll look around, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to just go buy one. This was a somewhat of a debacle. I did get a 1/4 inch NPT fitting that'll go into this plastic body. It's not straight, but it will go, and I don't think it'll leak. And I got a barb for the other end, but it turned out it's a different setup. It's got a spring in here that holds a valve. So basically I've got to make this big thing. It's a long ways away from that. I'm going to have to make this this fitting here fit this. So I guess what I'll do is just put it in the lathe and turn this end off of it, and may have to work on this fitting a little too, but I need to put those two together, and then I can JB weld them together to hold. I guess I could solder them. We'll see what I can do about turning them down first. I just turn this down in the lathe, cut the end of the barb off, and got it where it fits pretty good. It's a little too tight, but now I'm just going to solder it, and that should be plenty strong for what we need. Well, I soldered it up. A little hot still, but that's plenty strong, and I didn't mess up my seat in there, so that'll be good enough for what I need to do. Now put it all back together, and I'll have to bore this angle iron here to hold it and try to mount it to the cab. Well, I got my valve done. I'm just pumping it up right now to see if it's going to leak. I don't know how long it's going to take. Looks like we're about up to, I can't really read it. tiny there, didn't go in very well. That's not the one that's important. That one goes to the horn. So once I get that in, I'll probably, that was a straight fitting in the plastic and a MPT on the brass. Doesn't pump up very fast. I'm hoping that it won't be too loud. I don't want to have to wait. Look like a couple minutes there to pump it up. I don't see no leaks or anything. Let's see if I can. Maybe a couple honks. See how long it'll take it to come up from the low side to the high side. I'll have to put a switch in here for it somewhere. I don't want to have it running all the time. And I just got a rubber feet. I'm going to set it back there. Well, it looks like about, according to the camera, a little less than a minute. So I don't hear any leaks. Seems like the valve's pretty good. 255. Let me see what it takes. About 30 seconds. Like about a minute. And take a minute between honks. Not the best in the world, but at least it's a workable installation. Yeah, minute and a half or so. It's workable, it's just not the most optimal. Well, she's all pumped up. Ready to go. Got my chain on it. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna get 2 or 3 good blasts. Looks like it works. I've got a kink here in this line here that's probably not doing me any good. I don't know if I ought to shorten it or make it a little longer. That's about 30-40 seconds. Good enough. Got enough in there for one real good long blast. I'll have to make this chain look a little better. But it's on and it works. Try it once more. Plenty loud. Her lights are up there and mounted. It was a trick getting them straight, but they look good. And I just got them temporary. You can see wires hanging here. But there they are. Well, here's my lights on. They're matching the front. They're all straight. It took me a little while to get them on there right, but they look good. I don't have them wired. I just got them temporary hooked up, but they look nice, and they work with the headlight switch here. It's gonna look good going down the road. Anyway, that's it for today. Well, my tires came today, so kind of see how this thing looks. I used a halfway low profile. I forget what the numbers are. I think that's a 65 series tire and a 15-inch wheel, but made it pretty low. It's going to clear the fender. I've got 2 or 3 inches there between the tire and the fender. One of the reasons I got that low profile tire is so it would clear that fender when the wheels are turned. But I still got to raise the back up. So far so good. What? Do a little before and after here. This is 24.5 inches right at that weld spot. That's what the old tire looks like. Alright. A couple threads long, so I have to make sure that the nut will, the wheel will go on. Good. 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 That's good. So now I can put my holding nuts on it and then put the wheel on the studs. Well, now at the edge I got 23 inches. I don't remember what the other one was. I thought it was 24. Boy, it lowered it a lot. Don't have much here. Looks about 5 inches there to the fender. This one about the same, 5.5. Awfully low. Lower than I would like. It'll come up a little when I raise it back. But wheels are on. They look good. This side looks like it's a little higher. I might have to change those tires to something else. But that's not a big deal, putting taller tires on it. I'll wait till I get all the back done and everything all leveled before I get too concerned about anything. I think it's gives it a kind of a lowered look. I just got to get that back up. That'll make some difference. I moved on here to the back. I'm going to try to raise this thing. I got me a piece of steel here. I was thinking about just welding it into here, but this is 12 inches long, so 2 6-inch pieces. If I butt welded it, means I'll be able to put 3 inches in the spring. I don't know how much 3 inches would change the height. I've got it jacked up a long ways right now, but after looking at this brace, I'm not sure whether I ought to put I've got a big piece of angle iron, and it's quite a bit longer than that. I can, you know, drill holes in it for those bolts. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do. I measured this hole here from the bottom looking up, and I gave myself about 1 inch there on the bolt, but I didn't realize that this thing was going to be so close to the nut on top. But I can get that off. Might have to. I can get that bolt out with this hole. I tried to make it real square so I could just weld it back in, but I haven't really decided how I'm gonna raise this. I think I may just put a piece of angle iron on the bottom, both sides, turn the angle in, and drop this down about another 3 or 4 inches, and just forget that thing and make this whole brace out of angle iron. I can weld it. In fact, let me get some angle iron here and put up there so you can see. Here's the angle iron. That's about 14 inches. So if I butt weld it, 2 pieces in there, 1 on each side, I can raise this 4 inches pretty easily, and that'll give me plenty of metal here to do what I need to do. I don't really want to take this whole spring perch out of here. Might have to. I guess first thing is just to see if I can get the bolts broke loose. Go from there. Well, I was able to get the bolts off real easy, and it fell right out. As high as I've got it jacked up, you can see the spring is moving a little bit fairly easily, and perch come out good. So I can either use some 90s on it, like I said before, weld something up like that, or just cut this piece, weld something like that in there. Looks like that might be the best way to do it. I'm going to need 2 pieces of that. I don't know how much this is going to raise or lower anything. But I don't really need all this overkill down here on this big 90. I think if I just weld a piece in here, I can get to it pretty easy and cut it. And I think this is going to be, if I can jack that down 3 inches, that's what I'll do. I'll put a jack between the spring and the frame, squish this thing down. I don't know what it's going to do for centering the wheel. I assume the front of it up here is kind of like a trailing link, except a leading link. Worst would happen is I'd mess up my drive line, but I don't think it's going to go back or forth because of that front length of the spring. I'm sure it's got to have some kind of travel, but just looking at how much pressure I got here on the spring, I'm not pressing very hard on this at all. You know, that's probably moved it 1.5 inches, 2 inches. But I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this thing, and I'll cut my steel bar here exactly in half and then in quarters, and let's see, I'll probably have about this much. I'll probably be able to weld 3 inches in there, and don't know what that'll do, but it should definitely make a difference. Anyway, I'll cut this up and see what we got after that. I decided to go with a single brace I cut 3 inches in this plate here, and I took them over to the milling machine and made sure that everything was all straight and exactly the same length. I've got them clamped with the other 6-inch piece here on the bottom holding it. All I've got to do is, this of course not straight, but I'll put something on here and make sure this is exactly straight and weld that up. So I'll weld it in here. I'm just going to tack all 4 corners while it's clamped. It's going to try to shrink it where it welds. It's going to bend it up. But once I get it tacked on this outside, I'll flip it over and tack it on the inside. And for this round piece here, where this is curved up, I'm just going to put a little piece of round rod in there and weld it good all along that brace. So that'll keep it from flexing. And that's going to make that spring 3 inches longer. Here's my other little 3-inch piece, but I machined these off in the milling machine so they're perfectly square and exactly the same length. So that way my holes will be the same on both sides. And I think that's going to be it for today. Got a lot done. Got my driver's license. Got my 1 car changed to Oregon plates. $400. But now everything's all straight and legal. And I'll go ahead and weld this up tomorrow and continue this video. And we'll bring you back here whenever I get this thing tacked together and show you what's happening. I wasn't too happy about the way that last one turned out. It was a little crooked in a couple axes, but this one I've got it clamped onto that big straight bar, and I used a square on it, and I got it straight here, and it's all parallel, so I'll just tack this together and see what happens and then straighten it, and I'll tack the other side. That turned out quite a bit better. It looks real parallel. Still kind of hot. Nice weld, and it's flat. So now I'm just going to check the dimensions here. See what I got in the... If my caliper will open up far enough. Nope. Only 6 inches. Well, I'll just have to measure it manually. Inside of the hole to inside of the hole. Can't really read this. Looks like about 6 1/4. This side, you can see that one's twisted. Inside the hole to inside of the hole. And it's at the 1/4 mark as well. So I got the holes pretty much parallel. This one here is twisted though. I'll try to put the bolts in it and see how they line up, and then I'll go over there to the vise and tweak this back to where it's all parallel. I got that all sorted out. I just put a piece of 3/8 rod on it, welded it on both sides, so that looks plenty strong. It's still straight, and so I'll just let this cool, wire brush it, probably throw a little paint on it, probably wire brush it and then paint it, let it cool with the paint on it, then I'll try to put it in, see what results we get there. Oh, there it is, all painted up. Not super good or anything, but mostly just protect it from rust, and looks plenty strong. Paint's a little tacky, but it's actually really not bad out here. It was freezing last night, but I'm over here with just a little light jacket on in the sun. Feels pretty good. So next I gotta put it up in there and see what kind of results I managed to make. Well, got it in. I would just put a board under there to the frame. Looked like it picked it up about 8 inches here to get the jack in. All the trouble I took making those bolts straight paid off because they went right in. I've got the bolts in right now, so I can kind of pull the jack stand out, let it down. Well, here goes nothing. Got jack stand out. I think that's it. I remember I set those fenders level with the tire, but it definitely raised the back of the truck up. Fenders look a little crooked right now, but looks like my lift kit worked. It's flexing a little. All I gotta do is weld it up, tighten it up, weld my patch. My little cat finally decided he was going to explore the shop. But yeah, that put a rake in it. I don't remember what the fenders were before. I think they were 24 in the center of the wheel. And it looks like about 22 and a half now. Might have lowered the front a little, but it definitely brought the back of the truck up. So I'd say that's a success. It'll be a little different when I get them both in too, but all in all, I say that looks pretty good. Alright. I welded this up, that was kind of hard. Stuff just burned right through. But what I'm going to do is the next one, I'm just going to cut out a place for the bolt on both ends. I'm not going to try to cut a whole piece out of here. It's not real straight, but the fender wasn't real straight to start with. I gotta weld that little piece in there and grind it off, and I'll be done with this. Well, that's it. You can tell it was cut out and patched, but basically it's almost as good as it was. I hammered a little bit of bend out of it. Probably could still work on it some more. I still don't know what I'm going to do with this. You know, I might still cut the bed off. I found a guy with a fifth wheel. I was thinking about putting it up in here, but anyway, I got lots to do other than that. You can see this grinding and welding stuff makes quite a mess. But I don't know if I'll go do the other side now, or I think I'll maybe put my carburetor together and leave this when I'm fresh. It made some difference in it. And raised this side up a little bit too. Kind of hard to tell here with the sun on it, but definitely raised it up. Don't look bad.